Hi everyone, this is a video tour guide of probably the first queer-themed exhibition in mainland China that I curated recently. Early in this year, I launched an online project called Queer Museum in China, which encourages queer people to co-build an archive or museum collecting community-created contents such as everyday objects, artworks, and of course their interpretations. You might wonder if queer contents are restricted here. How could this project even become visible? Well, there's actually an interesting linguistic misunderstanding here. The word queer is transliterated into Chinese as 酷儿, while homophobic happens to sound like a popular drinking brand. This coincidence sometimes makes such content accidentally visible online, though the visibility is still very limited. The current exhibition is now open in a very tiny indie and underground gallery in Shenyang, China. With the help of some warm-hearted friends, we were showing 13 exhibits collected through the Queer Museum program. We chose to use the bathroom as a central trope, not only because the gallery itself resembles one, but also because bathrooms are intimate spaces where we discover our bodies and begin to realize our identities. Upon entering, visitors will see a TV broadcasting black and white clips from old movies. The video combines romantic and explicit scenes between straight couples with an old educational video explaining how sperm swim towards an ovum. A little girl grows up watching such media, anticipating adulthood through heteronormative imagery. I found it quite fascinating to open a queer exhibition with an overload of heterosexual content. Right after the video are two everyday objects. The first is a pair of orthopedic insoles for flat feet. The owner Mumu has flat feet, yet some people stereotype gay men as walking like models or moving femininely, claiming that they can tell someone's orientation just by their gait. Well, I think it's very ironic when people try to define minorities without ever listening to them, assuming that they know them better than themselves. Unfortunately, this happens often, especially when queer voices are silenced, both online and in real life. As Mumu once asked, if this body belonged to a heterosexual man, would it be interpreted the same way? The second object tells another coming-of-age story. Its owner grew up in a relatively safe and loving environment. This alpaca plush was a gift from a female friend during his middle school time. So this forms a very distinct comparison between the two daily objects, showing the different roots of individuals when they grew up. Next, we have two photographic works by Mr. Li. His images leave much space for interpretation. Why do the two queers appear to crave the apple? Who is the dark figure behind the boy, covering his mouth? Li says the green apple symbolizes awakening and resources. Queer individuals often find themselves on the margins, lacking emotional support, legal protection, and public space, compared with cisgender people. At the end of this wall is a work by the truly ingenious Lin Xiao. I really like this artist, and I highly recommend you checking out Lin Xiao's work on Rednote. They are full of creativity and fun. His piece, The Wishing Pool, which we will get, includes 4 parts: a cabinet, a painting, coins, and written wishes. Humans use wishes to connect with possible futures, to shape the world through desire. We toss coins into water, wrap them in food, give them to loved ones. Coins and pools become vessels of hope here. Turning to the corner wall, you will find 2 pieces by local Shenyang artists. Their compositions draw on mythological and biblical imagery, but reinterpret them in a reversed and critical way. Together, they form something like a sacrificial altar, giving the exhibition a ritual and thematic depth. Mr. Zhu is another bold and talented artist. His works illuminate sexuality and sensuality rather than hiding them. Obsessed with minimalism, He even wears hand-painted mugs wherever he goes. Now, let's move to another video piece, a documentary featuring the champion of an underground drag queen competition in Wuhan. Usually, winners are overjoyed, but in this interview, her happiness is mixed with much more sorrow as she reveals the gap between drag performers and their families. I was genuinely touched when I first watched this video. The artist KK also created an experiment inviting drag queens to rate themselves rather than being judged by the others. Some rated themselves very highly, while some self-critical, but they are all very authentic and vivid. In Wuhan, KK also invited local drag queens to take a series of official ID-style portraits. These photos, normally rigid and formal, contrast sharply with the flamboyance of drag. KK took an official portrait of himself in full makeup and sent it to his mother, asking if she would take this first ever family photo of them with their monster son. Another work, Breaking the Grid, tells the story of a girl named Thief escaping a confining grid. The once radiant sun becomes the lifeless monster, trapping children within its frame. This comic-like artwork can be read from left to right, depicting the thief's journey from confusion to awakening and then to anger and finally breaking free from the frame to the wilderness. Next is the typography work titled Friends, Some Queer, Some Straight, created in 2015 when public discussions of anti-discrimination was still somewhat possible. This piece celebrates the diversity of identities beyond labels. Finally, on the sync, we come to the script The Death of the Rose by Miss Wang Dabao, who is not queer herself, but deeply advocates for this community. Inspired by the documentary Li Mao, the play faced warnings from her friends like too niche, too sensitive, or you can never win awards. Yet she persisted. Despite the tragic ending, the work expresses profound empathy across communities, hoping that Rose could one day dance freely on a truly inclusive stage. The last piece is a participatory work, Rainbow Lego Bricks, adapted from Madison's collection. It invites visitors to co-create images using colorful blocks. The original object from Madison contains his personal memories and experiences from the UK, but due to censorship, not everything can be shared here. So that's the full tour of the exhibition 命命之中 Entangled Fate. I'm truly deeply grateful to everyone who helped me make this happen, and I've tried my best to preserve each artist's original display and interpretation. I hope this collection can serve as a resource for future scholars and advocates, and perhaps one day these objects will appear in public museums and probably, who knows. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in exhibitions or social inclusion, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe my channel, and you can share this video to those who might resonate with it. Thank you so much and hope you enjoyed this tour.